I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
It ain't true. That's what you just heard.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer.
This was a horrific night for the opposition party, regardless of how well she just spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side and
ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that. I thought Democrats came into this speech lost and defeated by Donald Trump, and today it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech started.
Guys, the Democrats are done. Okay, I just watched this congressional address by Donald Trump. Okay, like shout out to the shirt. I got the, the fight joint, says it at the bottom. But Democrats are done. This was so freaking ridiculous. So they started off basically trying to like boo him. I don't know what the hell they thought this was going to do. It was like a mild disruption at the very beginning of the address. So I don't know, maybe they're trying to get a viral moment. I'm not exactly sure, but they need to get some cool, hip people in charge or something who know what the hell they're doing, because this was just stupid. First, to start off with Al Green trying to talk over Trump and foolishly getting kicked out, basically just trying to desperately grab any attention that he could.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed.
And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility, against our civility. Look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
And then they had these stupid paddles that they were holding up, like messages whenever the cameras would show them. They would hold up these stupid paddles. So, they started off, here's one, Musk steals. But, of course, the internet exists today. So this is like one of the worst things they could have did, because somebody should have warned them, okay, it's probably going to backfire pretty epically. And it did. Now it says, I farted. They were just roasting the hell out of them. Look at this one. America last. I love war. I steal from taxpayers. I voted against women. Illegals first. I don't know what a woman is. This is horrible. And before the event even started, you had Jasmine Crocket out here, and she released this ridiculous video, which I can't play much of the music from it, but I could definitely show you. It was a stupid dance video. To her credit, at least she did something original.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like
It really just seems like this lady is just playing in the face of all the taxpayers that voted for her by getting up there and just doing stupid antics and shows and, you know, just trying to be entertaining rather than be a person who actually proposes and passes bills that represent the people who voted for her.
Another remarkable piece was the response, or really lack of, from the Democrats. I can't say I'm surprised. You've heard it addressed many times, even on this program tonight, to see the theatrics, the performative, that's what it is. It's performance that we saw from them. Wearing all the pink to symbolize standing with women. Again, this party, the Democratic Party, could not be further from being pro-woman. They are anti-woman and they are anti-reality.
Another top moment here was Donald Trump calling out Pocahontas. Okay, so he was talking about war and not wanting war to continue, and he called out Pocahontas because she tried to say something and it ticked him off, so he gave her the old clap back.
With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. With no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
And in case you don't hate the fake news enough, I want to go ahead and remind you guys. So for those who didn't see the event, you had DJ there, a young man, 12 or 13 years old. It was one of those with brain cancer. And I believe he still has brain cancer. It's just like hard to get rid of because it's in the brain. You can't exactly just keep cutting forever, right? So, you know, they said at one point he had a couple of months to live, like 5 months. And I mean, that was years ago, and here he is still today. And MSDNC, this Nicole Wallace, this animal, tried to politicize this young man for wanting to be a police officer. This is one of the most disgusting things that I feel like I've ever seen. So just be ready.
And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
You dumb bitch.
So just to end on something positive, we started with Scott Jennings, so I say we go ahead and end it with based Scott Jennings.
At some point, you got to stop blaming Joe Biden, and you're going to be accountable. And, he must have met Biden a dozen times in his speech.
I mean, the X, I love you. You guys were blaming George W. Bush in year 8 of the Obama presidency.
No, but you know something, Scott? We learned something from that. we learned something from that.
He's been in office for 40-something days. I am hearing a lot of cope. These social issues, you know why he talks about them? Because they work. They're like 80-20 issues, and he's on the right side of them, and Democrats are on the wrong side of them. It worked in the campaign, and nobody... oh, he's not talking about the right things. It worked in the inaugural. It's working in the executive orders. It's why he put it in the speech tonight. And on immigration, you're exactly right. It's his #1 achievement so far. The border's effectively closed. The line of the night was they kept saying we need new legislation to secure the border, but it turns out all we really needed was a new president. Without question, in my mind, top scoring line.
I just have to say,
The Democrats made a complete fool of themselves today. You got Donald Trump helping a kid with cancer. You got him helping another young man get into school. You got prisoners coming home from being prisoners of war from Russia. I mean, you name it, Trump's done it. And the Democrats couldn't cheer or clap. It was like 99% of them for any of that stuff. And I just feel like it shows bad character.
If they can't stand and applaud you and stand up for the right of innocent people like your daughter, what does that party stand for? I found it repulsive.
They don't stand for anything humane. They don't stand for us as citizens. They don't stand for our security. They don't stand for honorable things that we need in this country. And it's very disgraceful to us as U.S. citizens that those are the people that we have here in Congress and House and Senate. It's disgusting.
And it shows that they are more partisan rather than wanting America to succeed. You can not like Donald Trump if you support, I don't know, men and women's sports or something real crazy. But when you're bringing people home that were prisoners and helping kids with cancer, I think that deserves a bit of frickin' applause. You frickin' scumbags. But guys, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. You think the Democrats did the right thing just sitting on their butts or protesting in the middle of Trump's speech, or you think they should show some actual decorum and act like some adults and actually support America rather than wishing for the destruction of the country just because the person that they don't like is in office? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching The Black Anomaly. I'm out.
Well, I think it's evidenced by their actions tonight. They refuse to stand for anything. And if you're not going to stand for a child who's fighting brain cancer, you're not going to stand for our firefighters and police, you're not going to stand for the announcement that we've captured the mastermind terrorist behind the Abbey Gate attack that killed 13 of our Marines, if you're not going to stand for American workers, then you're just not going to stand for anything. And so what we saw tonight was truly Dems in disarray. They have been so subscribed to the identity politics of the last 2 decades that they lost their identity altogether. It's truly a crisis. They have a lot of soul searching to do. Meanwhile, we are going to keep making America great again.